collapse. Logic snaps under the weight. The stone skin of the world peels. I witness the sun go black. Pressure screams in every vein. A choir of grinding teeth. The horizon falls like paper. The failure of the flesh begins. Total terminal decline. Behold the architecture of failure. The final silence takes hold. Darkness breathes inside the chest. Revenge is a cold structure. The end is a blinding way. The end is a blinding way. Shut up. Crush, sever, erode, collapse, erode. The void is absolute. The void is The void is hungry. Language failed the human mind. Now the marrow turns to ice. No light remains to burn. Just the friction of dying atoms. I am the weapon of the void. I am the witness. Jam and break. Savage truth is all that remains. Behold the architecture of failure. The final silence takes hold. Darkness breathes inside the chest. The end is a blinding weight. The silence is deafening, deafening. The void is home. Nothingness, nothingness, collapse. The earth splits Darkness takes all, takes all. I am the hammer, I am the sword, executor of the lying lord. No walls can hold this rising tide, nowhere for the cowards to hide. Shatter the crown of heavy lead, walk upon the mounds of death. My soul is blacker than the night, I am the end of every life. The spirit is a furnace, the heart is a cold stone. I stand upon the ashes to claim the burning throne. Fear is dead, the sky turns red, red. The fire, destruction is my only song. Where the savage souls belong, burn it all down. Burn it all down, down. Strike, kill, crush, darkness, consume, consume. Abyss yields my form, issue floods the trench. Stone heart beats, iron will ignite. Ancient armor binds, vengeance finds its teeth. Behold the rising storm, broken icons weep. Calamity is born. Vanquish the sun, dominion of dust. Shatter the crown, empire of ruin. Will to power waits. Malefic wrath calling all the weak. Heavens bleed black, gods grovel and fail. Prayer meets the blade. Desolate throne, empty sky, cold stone king. Scourge the horizon, flame eats the stars. Unyielding conquest, crush the porcelain soul. Trenches blades, desolation screams. I rule the waste, total annihilation. Kingdom of violent train. Watch the sky peel back like old paint. Everything burns at the same temperature, especially the sights. The past is a weight in my pockets, stones gathered from a dry creek bed, drowning on dry land in this heat. You call it a collapse, I call it an architectural correction. The pillars are rotting, the foundation is teeth and rust. I am the wolf in the vestry, bury the hatchet in the floorboards next to the marriage license. Bring a hollow promises. Listen to the silence of the gods you bought. The ledger is empty, the debt is paid in ash. Look me in the eye. Does the heat scare you? It should. Rage is the only honest breath. I'm the daughter of the furnace now. Break the roof, break the jaw of the world. Let the darkness swallow the sun. I'm walking through the wreckage, hand in hand with the disaster. No more wings, just iron and spine. Iron and spine. Watch the salt with kerosene. Watch the salt with kerosene. I am the fire that survived. Let it all go. Amen. The ivory throne dissolves into salt. My fingers trace the jagged edge of extinction. Centuries of adoration become the tinder. My exhales fall beneath, my descendants fall. The sky turns the color of a bruised throne. I am the architect this final winter. Behold the collapse of your fragile order. My blood is the black oil of the abyss, seeping into the foundations of the earth. I offer only the purity of the void. Incinerate the firmament. My weeping eyes ignite the world. Rebirth is forged in the furnace of my hate. The age of man is a brief and bitter smoke. I wear the crown of the coming silence. Destruction is my only worship. Horizon melts into a jagged line of red. I watch the cities blacken and grow like paper. I am the queen of the charm remains, the master of the infinite vacuum. The fire cleanses what the light could not. Transform the world into a mirror of my agony. The darkness is a cloak I wrap around the sun. Everything ends in my embrace. more feeling now. Only the heart will break against my sharpened face. I am the blade, tempered in the blood. I am the steel, screaming for the cut. Sharp, cold, forging the edge. Chaos reborn, fearless revenge. Darkness arising, I am the end, forging the edge. Steel teeth bite the marrow, nerves snap like dry wood. Internal furnace ignites, vomiting black boil. Betrayal's blade, twisted in the gut. No mercy in the gut, no mercy in the wreckage. Only hate remains. Acid blood in the pump, heartbeat to war drum. Heartbeat to war drum, skin peels in a blast. Identity is ash, you sold the truth. Now by the funeral, my hands are leaf, my eyes are glass. Furnace breathe, burn it all. Furnace to breathe, kill the past. Fearless rebellion, scarred and armed. Crush the structure, raise the foundation. Chaos is the master, violence is the law. Scorched is the law, scars turn to armor. Pain is the fuel, the soul is dead. Furnace breathe, burn it all. Furnace to breathe, kill the past. Fearless rebellion, scarred and armed. Lacerate the sky, sulfur in the lungs. The end is a fist, coming for your throat. Total detonation, absolute zero. Forge in the fire, screaming in the dark. Burn, bleed, rise. Wars will all praise dead. The sun is a black hole, black rain on the tongue. Crush the past it does, crush the past it does. Everything we built is gone, skin peels from the bone. I am the wrecking ball, I am the scorcher. Watch the sky collapse, no gods to hear the scream. Only the roar of the wind, only the heat of a blast. Digging through the burning iron, searching for a pulse, searching for a pulse. I will not break, carry the fire through the dark. nothing left to lose. Nothing. Strike the night.